Try to keep me entertained, okay? That's what I'm talking about!
This town sucks, my life sucks, but as long as I got waves, everything's okay. As long as I can lift, it's no problem. So you see, I'm okay, sis. Got my lifting, and as long as I can keep lifting, no matter where I am, everything's great! Things you told me way back then, and the things I have come to believe in now. Go, Renton! Come on, let's go! I'm taking off after that girl!
Eureka 7 is a series that I believe is certainly different from others in its genre. Being one of my first series in the mecha genre that I watched, aside from Zoids and Neon Genesis Evangelion, Eureka 7 was right up my alley, and after finishing the series, it was certainly interesting. However, does interesting translate into good or bad? What's up guys, it's Kent from Spartan Media Reviews here to review the anime Eureka 7. Does this show deserve a watch? Let's find out. Eureka 7 can be described just as much as a romantic coming-of-age story compared to a mecha series. Much like Neon Genesis Evangelion, the mecha elements of the show certainly play a significant role in how the show shapes itself, but the underlying message and themes revolve around something entirely different. Eureka 7 follows Renton Thurston, a boy with a passion for lifting, otherwise known as surfing in the sky. Renton's dream is to join Gecko State, however after receiving said offer of joining the group, he certainly starts to see a different outlook on life, and it certainly isn't for the better. Renton and the others must now find their own outlooks on life and what they think is the right choice for them. Eureka 7 has a lot of things going on in its story. It combines war, romance, battle shonen themes, electronic music culture, foreign creatures, and even parenting into its story's elements. At first, I really didn't know what to think about this series. I thought the introduction of the show was okay, but it was difficult to deal with the cast in the early episodes. However, it wasn't until the episodes where Renton runs away to a different family where I truly knew I would enjoy this series. The arc surrounding Ray and Charles's relationship with Renton was one of, if not my favorite aspects of the series, aside from the finale, which I will go into a little later. I think that arc in particular is where I could see Renton start to become a better character, and the rest of the cast starts to improve in my eyes as well. Even though the arc in particular is extremely short, I think it was an extremely important aspect of the series. In my opinion, it starts the transformation of Renton to becoming a man. Now let's talk about the finale. Eureka 7's finale was magical, breathtaking, and perfect, all wrapped into one episode. Renton and Eureka can truly understand each other, as Renton proves that by coming back to Eureka's side in the finale. In my opinion, it certainly was an ending that I find to be fantastic, up there with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Steins Gate, and the end of Evangelion. Too bad they decided to mess it all up by creating Astral Ocean, and yes, I already have a review written for that terrible series, so I hope you enjoy that. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the start of the series, it certainly improved in my eyes into a story that I truly loved and appreciated. Eureka 7's cast is one that I absolutely hated at first, but soon came to appreciate them as they went along in the story, aside from the kids because they will never be good in my eyes. Renton exhibits the Shinji Ikari mentality at first, but in a way it was perfect for him to see that the world is not as great as it seems. Renton didn't know much about anything besides being a fan of lifting, so when Eureka shows up out of the blue, things certainly are going to be a drastic shift for him. He starts to experience all these new things, and he has to deal with the struggles that these things bring to him as well. Certainly by the end of the show, Renton transforms from this crybaby character who knows next to nothing about the world into a full-blown adult, which is always a good thing in my eyes. Eureka as a character transforms in her own way as well. Being very distant and cold at first, it isn't until Renton comes along that Eureka starts to experience emotion for the first time. She then starts to question her own judgment of who she actually is. As the relationship of this series grows, both Renton and Eureka have to help each other overcome their obstacles, which is especially difficult if they are both facing significant troubles at the same time. The supporting cast can be described in almost the same way as both Renton and Eureka. Each character has a significant flaw in their personality or backstory, and someone else has to help them overcome those odds, and vice versa. This aspect can also be seen in the relationships of Holland and Tahoe, as well as the relationship of Anemone and Dominic. I think by the end of the show, there wasn't one character that hadn't developed in any way at all. Seeing such a large cast improve is one that I am happy to see, considering most series with large casts fail at branching out from only its main cast. Eureka 7 certainly has an interesting set of characters, but even if you hate them at first, you will probably come to accept who they truly are by the end of the show. Eureka 7 was my second introduction into the works of Studio Bones, with my first being Soul Eater, so they certainly made their positive impression known very quickly. Eureka 7 is bright, showcasing lots of different colors, almost as if they decided to shade everything with a bunch of highlighters. Its animation quality is what you would expect from Studio Bones. The action sequences surrounding the battles between the mechs felt almost weightless, watching them do tricks and moves that you would never see in a lot of mecha series. The backgrounds throughout the series were also vast and detailed, and character designs were nice but different. I thought the openings all played well to the show's strengths, especially the first opening, considering the first couple of seconds introduce us to the huge world that our characters live in. The endings were well done in their own right as well, relying a lot more on simplicity but still being well polished. Having bought the soundtrack already from one of Bandai's limited edition box sets, I like the soundtrack to the series. It features your standard orchestral themes that you would see in these types of series, sporting lots of brass and string instruments, but also relies on electronic music as well as a variety of other genres. It's diverse yet well produced. All of Eureka 7's openings are awesome, especially the first opening done by Flo. The ending tracks used in the show were also nice, but not as memorable in my opinion. Finally, Eureka 7's dub is awesome, having a lot of talent you would come to expect from any popular series, featuring Johnny Youngbosch, Crispin Freeman, Stephanie Shea, and plenty of others. Now, with everything that I have said, do I recommend watching Eureka 7? Yes. While being different from the genre that it is housed in, Eureka 7 is actually a well-produced coming-of-age romance series with mecha elements. The story also has a well-developed cast, solid animation production from Studio Bones, and a very techno-heavy soundtrack that I personally like as well. Overall, even though it is different, it certainly isn't bad by any means whatsoever. Spartan Media Reviews gives Eureka 7 a great recommendation. If you are interested in watching Eureka 7, you can check out the series on Hulu, Netflix, or Funimation's website. Now, what are your thoughts on Eureka 7? Comment below. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate that as well. Follow me on Twitter and Hummingbird to keep up to date with the current things that I am doing, and with all that said, I will catch you guys in my next review. Thank you for watching.